Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. And today on the show, I have Colin McNamara, co-founder of Always Cool Brands and founder of Always Cool AI, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his businesses, his journey to business ownership, best practices he's learned along the way, and challenges that he's faced to give you that inside scoop to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome, Colin. So great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Kay. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, before we dive into all things business, let's share a little bit about you with our audience. So take us back as far as you want and share a bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. I am a giant nerd. That's the best I can describe myself. I grew up playing with engineering toys. Ended up moving to Silicon Valley at 19 with the grand plan of working my way through college, and ended up working my way through industries instead. So had a really great life of building really big technology in many different ways, and just over, gosh, 3 years ago. I left big tech and to go focus on public good, making an impact in the world. And so currently, I combine those two things together.
Oh, but that is cool. That was a great description, by the way. It was like short, concise, amazing. Talked about yourself. I love that. And so now I'm really excited to dive into Always Cool. So you have the two companies. Share a bit about the two. Like, did one start first or did they start simultaneously?
Absolutely. So I co-founded Always Cool Brands, which is about 20% of my time right now. I run engineering and some of the finance roles there. And in October 2022, me and my co-founder basically built a company around a problem set or a pattern that happens in grocery stores, mainly, where the grocery stores will see a top selling product, branded product on their shelves, and they want to create that brand as their own store brand. However, a lot of retailers and grocery stores have prohibited ingredients lists, dyes and additives and stuff that may, make you sick or cause your kids to misbehave. And so we specialize in taking those hot selling products on the shelves and reformulating them totally clean label, no additives, really good for you for the store brands. We set up all the manufacturing and make sure it all shows up on time.
Oh, that's incredible. I wondered about that when I see a brand and then all of a sudden I'm in the grocery store and I see like a store brand version of it. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like how did that get started with you and your co-founder?
How did that get started? My co-founder's been doing this for about 16 years. So it's her business, she leads it. I come in and help where needed. Yeah, 49% or whatever. But the how did that get started? We both saw this opportunity of moving from product development, product design in like a spec way to taking on some of the largest companies in the industry that were just horrible and not adding a lot of value. And so we kind of had this thesis that we could go ahead and focus on that better for you segment, which 3 years ago, not many people were doing it. And now there's all these regulations and rules and acts that have came out around dyes and additives, right? So it's the hotness now. But we basically got ahead of the market. It takes about 18 to 36 months to design a product and put it on shelf, whether that be formulation, whether that be packaging, whether it be distribution, whether it be bulk materials. And so we spent 3 years figuring all that out. We have our first retail products arrived on shelf this quarter. If you go to Sprouts, you can get their Sprouts brand smoothies. They're amazing. There's a seasonal pie crust that's also amazing. And if you get their grass-fed milk, those come through us. Grass,
Congratulations. I go to Sprouts. I have to check that out.
yeah. So it's really good. And that's in many ways it's a simple business. In many ways it's a complex business. There's a lot of money moving around. There's a lot of material moving around. There's a lot of global supply chains to deal with, a lot of relationships. And my business partner is amazing at that, and just like a genius when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm a quality engineer, so there's different things that I bring to the table as well. But this where that kind of fits in is, running a CPG business effectively, whether it's our own brands or under for other people's brands, there's just so much risk. There's financial risk. The distributors are messing with you constantly with trade spend. There's quality risk. There's even on like nutrition statements or allergens, you can easily screw one thing up and kill someone.
Mm.
Um, and so as we were going through this process, and I was going through this process of learning the CPG world, it really became clear to me in my engineering mind that there was a huge amount of risk to be resolved, and it started doing it via software. So started writing software in 2024 using AI to reduce the risk of like incorrect allergen statements, incorrect labeling, incorrect nutritional facts, and that progressed and evolved as we went live over this past quarter to a AI system that I interact with every day to basically to stop me from being woken up at night. And that's always cool AI, and that's about it. That's 80% of my focus right now.
Okay, so that's how the AI got started. So when did the Always Cool brand, you said it was 14 years ago that she founded the company or?
But no, she's been doing this for 14, 15, 16 years.
Mhm.
Always Cool Brands was founded in October 2022 by us.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Now that painted the picture of the brands. And is it just you two, or do you have additional employees? And if so, how many?
It's just us two. We have like contractors and stuff like that, as well as manufacturing partnerships that we work with. So we basically pull teams together around the world to make it happen,
Nice.
and add value to everyone involved, and try to keep things going. It takes a large number of people, although more and more with the different tools that are available to us. Um, there's certain things that are just so much faster and easier to do with AI tool chains.
Oh, definitely. That's been a hot topic of conversation through podcasts so recently, especially. And so looking at now, it's you two in the business, you work
Mhm.
with contractors. Now, marketing. So who would you say is your target client? Like if I were to check you out online, walk through your doors, how would I know I'd be a good fit for you?
We're a sleeper. You probably know us through word of mouth. The different brand managers at the retail grocery stores, and we work with them directly. So, the largest retailers in the world we work with, and they know us. So we have a reputation for delivering. And so if you look on our website, it's actually really bland, really nondescript. The whole point is to be able to work in the background. And then for Always Cool AI, you'd know us through our projects, right? Took the same concepts of how to remove risk in FDA regulated environment and actually applied that to the nuclear industry this last year or this year. Yeah, you can the same way that you would make sure an AI tool chain was properly calculating nutrition facts or religious preferences is directly applicable to how and where you're going to build a nuclear reactor and what the environmental status of the area is and how you validate that those rules are actually followed and how that's reported up to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission or DOE.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Are you thinking about branching into any other industries in the future, or are you sticking with where you're at now?
I mean, probably, I don't know, honestly. The things that are really interesting right now are the problems that we've had to solve this last like 3 to 6 months, of getting the full supply chains going and getting all the visibility into it. There's a really fun game of trade spend management when the distributors, so any CPG brand just gets raked over the coals by their distributors with a bunch of fees, bunch of fines, and they're inconsistent and false half the time. And so, with Always Cool AI, I bought it, I built in a system that basically goes and researches all the contracts that everyone's in and finds not the loopholes, but the reasons why we shouldn't get signed this fee. We're 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 winning most of our disputes right now. So I'm definitely interested in getting access to more brands' data sets and problem statements or problems and working with them on their trade spin analysis. Same thing on the supply chain visibility and whatnot. There's some really interesting reconciliation engines that we've been able to build, and I'm interested in working that. But I could see the different energy sectors, being very applicable here in Texas. But we'll see. I don't know.
That's really cool. It's really interesting stuff. And now, kind of a spin-off question. What's kind of your plan or trajectory for the next 3 years?
The next 3 years is to get my 20% in Always Core Brands down to as little as possible. My entire career, I've specialized in, if you need to build out, 10,000 network devices in, global scale data centers. My entire career for system storage, networking, whatever, I just write some stupid code to deploy it, to manage it, to whatever. Working with, all the became the big cloud providers now. So effectively, I've done the same with my, it used to be 10 hours a day at Always Cool and on the brand side. And, now it's 20%, both through delegation and automation. So, the next 3 years, I would say as much automation and delegation while retaining visibility to the quality and safety and financial performance of that business and
Mhm.
providing support wherever necessary. And then on the Always Cool AI side, everything's moving so fast that I'm able to do what teams could do in the past right now. I probably will end up doing more on the robotics side as well. There's a really interesting robotics community here in Austin with the Texas Robotics Lab out of UT, and a group out of HiCam that's really interesting. So I've started doing stuff with those people. So I could see some natural extensions those lines of business in that space.
Oh, very cool. Robotics is, we have such a great area here in Austin with the UT department. That's
Hmm.
cool. So now I want to go into some challenges. As business owners, we, face a lot of challenges and it can be a lonely space sometimes. And so we like to share transparent look at what businesses are going through so we help each other grow. And so what is something that's currently challenging you in business?
Gosh, what is currently challenging me in business? Uh, oh, employees. Um, yeah, I mean, I've managed in many different organizations and employees. I don't have directs. We don't have direct reports here, but external organizations, the challenges in business, scaling, right? So, like, we launched 7 products in the same quarter.
Oh,
Yeah, uh-huh. Physical products.
oh, how's that been going?
I slept 4 hours a night for about 6 months.
Oh no. How are you doing now?
I need therapy. I need some time to rest and recover. I need to regain my sanity and my soul. Um, and on top of that, as an entrepreneur, you know, there's cash flow issues that you have to deal with, right? So you're not only just having the challenges of making a product, but you got to make sure all the money's moving, and you need to deal with the bank, and you need to deal with your AR and your AP, and you need to make sure everything flows. And it has to be all properly documented, and it's a lot. It's a whole lot. I didn't get a break for months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you remedying currently some of these, especially like let's take time, for example, taking some time back for yourself.
Well, I solved the problem of my time through aggressively writing code.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was waking up at 4 in the morning, drenched in sweat, real where my brain would consolidate in like a real financial risk. Like, oh, you could lose your home if this happens. Okay,
Hmm.
best to write some code to make sure that doesn't happen, right? And at least to build a dashboard around that so there's visibility. And there's just months of that. And now I'm at a point along with delegation and teams coming together and people supporting me where not only do I have a lot of reconciliation and safety in the business, so the things that were keeping me up at night as a small business owner, I now have an AI agent, well, technically a fleet of about 20 of them that are keeping watch on things.
That's good. That's good that you found, some solutions and systems to remedy some of these things. And
Yeah.
so now you talked about too some cash flow. Are you looking like where's your cash flow mainly coming from clients, or are you like working through investors right now? Kind of where are you at with that?
We're completely bootstrapped on both sides. Both, lived or I saved up a good amount of money when I was at Oracle, at OCI. I was one of the first employees there. The current co-CEO of Oracle, Clay McGork, was my skip level manager. Um, yeah, until my boss blew his head off. It was that stressful. No joke.
Oh no, I didn't hear about that. That'd be a podcast for another day. I have to do a sleep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely
Oh,
behind the scenes of a cloud provider. But yeah, so both living out of savings, working jobs on the side. It's kind of where a lot of the nuclear work, the nuclear industry work came for all this cool AI. That gap before the products hit the shelves. I had the opportunity to kind of test out some of the theories that I had applied on our product development side, and start bouncing back and forth. Yeah, right now our cash flow positive. We're a profitable business on both sides. So, always call AI as a software business, so that's easy. Um, you know, but yeah, it's we passed a major milestone. We're on track. Be a really good business.
that's great. I love to hear that. This has been a very enlightening conversation. Now I want to move into our rapid fire Q&A, where I'm going to be asking you four questions and answer very top of mind.
Okay.
All right. Question number one is, what is a key to success for you?
The key to success for me is diligence and determination, and taking taking heart in that a 1% improvement every day, day after day after day, really does deliver results.
Very true. Love that. Number two is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Oh, keep a side job. Like, don't leave your job. Don't leave your job. It's going to take four times longer. It's going to take five times more money, and it's going to put you in the crazy house. So,
Good
yeah.
advice. Number three is, what is a piece of content? It could be a book, a podcast, anything that you've recently read, watched, or was inspired by.
I love the Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I think it's really, yeah, yeah, and especially when it comes to software now. The core of it is find your inspiration, find the dopamine squirt, find the obsession, and ride that obsession. Don't wait for it. Don't put it in a backlog. Just go with it. And now with agentic development, and like I have at my fingers the power of more development power than I had with entire organizations when I was leading at Oracle.
Mhm.
And with myself on my computer, it's actually on my other screen right here. And with sub agents and Claude Code and Cursor and a bunch of other tools. And so like the that book has been really great because creating software is a creative act. It is a work of art, and
Mhm.
our ability to make just amazing software that actually thinks now is right here today. It's mind blowing.
That's inspiring. Yeah, I just wrote that one down. I love Rick Rubin stuff, so that's really good. Final question, and feel free to elaborate a bit on this one. If I gave you a magic wand and you had the power to improve one aspect of your business overnight, what would it be?
Ooh, gave me a magic wand and gave me the power to improve one aspect of my business. What would it be? I mean, anyone who has to deal with finances is going to save more money, right?
It's honest, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to like making investor relationships, but yeah.
Hmm. Well, thank you, Colin, for answering the rapid fire. Before we get to our final question today, how can folks connect with you and your companies online?
Easiest way of connecting with me is go to colinmcnamara.com, COLINMCNAMARA.com. Or you can go to alwayscool.ai and hit the contact button.
Wonderful. Thank you, Colin. Our final question for today is, what is most inspiring to you today?
What is most inspiring to me today? Hmm. Let me think about this for a moment. What's most inspiring me today is that no matter, and it's kind of personal, I guess, coming through this last, 4 to 6 months, is that even though it seems every entrepreneur when you talk to them, you see that 1,000 yard stare in their eyes when you ask them about the launch. But the most inspiring thing is that there's normalcy after it, and there's always challenges that come, but I don't, it's not a direct answer, I guess, but it's just the natural state of existing and being. That's actually super inspiring.
Oh, well, that is very inspiring. And thank you so much. I love this episode, and I'm sure our audience is going to get a lot out of it. So thank you for being on the show.
Okay, thank you.